Hey, Bruce. Chris Chapman, Fox Sports Las Vegas postgame show. Giving up the first goal has kind of been something that's plagued you guys all season, but it seems like going back to the Islanders game, there's been a lot of mental mistakes, some self-inflicted wounds. So what have you seen over these last 6 or 7 games that give you reason to be concerned about the way you guys are playing?
Well, I'd say giving up the first goal, what are we, 50-50 on that, though, on the year? I don't know if we've had a bad run of it, but we didn't in Chicago or Carolina. I think we scored first, so we're starting to at least play better. I had a feeling you come off the road and you get in late Saturday and there's a Monday game at 3 o'clock. You don't touch the ice for a day and a half. You're going to get the motor's not going to be running right out of the gate. So we have to get through that. We did. But yes, I'd like to see us be on our game quicker. There's no doubt. I just want it to be as long as possible, however that plays out. And if that means we start playing at the 10-minute mark and right through the end of the game, that's 50 good. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of a good formula. So we've addressed it. I've talked to you guys about it enough that it is a concern enough that we've addressed it in the group. And I think we're slowly getting there. Today wasn't a great example of that, but I think circumstances played into that. What was the second part? I forget.
Since the Islanders game, a lot of the mistakes have kind of been self-inflicted.
Yes, yeah, end of periods. Again, we kill a penalty, end of the first period. We've got veteran guys out there, like understand the time and score and situation. And, then the next period, we take a tripping penalty. If you go in like with one hand on the stick, right? If you go in 2 hands on the sticks and compete for that puck, you're not getting called for a penalty because there'll be physical confrontation or you'll win the puck. So, Chicago was a board battle. We got beat back to the front of the net, didn't take care of business in front of the net. So those are concerns. Good teams typically don't do that. We're a good team, and we should stop doing it if we expect to win. Because there's a lot of different areas of our game that's self-inflicted. I thought tonight, Chris, I'll say this, I thought we left some plays on the table that were there, and I don't know if that was we're going through it a little bit here or it just wasn't cooperating. There was a lot of plays, including overtime, Jack, right? Like these are plays we're going to make. I know we're going to make them. Stoney and Barbie just, you know what I mean? The opportunities are there for that line. They're just a little bit off. So I believe that when we start making those self-inflicted stuff will go away because everything won't be magnified because we'll be playing better offensively.
There was a moment in the game where Noah Hannafin and Alex Pietrangelo were -2. You made a decision to kind of switch up the pairings. What did you see that maybe you didn't like to make those changes?
-2, and it's been a little bit of that lately. They had a great run, and they'll get on a great run again, but sometimes it also allows maybe more of an offensive guy in each pair when you're chasing the game because we knew it was 4-2. We had to score goals to win. We said that in the room. I thought they checked pretty well for the most part. We were able to get the 6-on-5 goals, but when you're giving up 4 every night, you need 5 to win. So you're going to have to, get going a little bit that way. So there's a little bit of that going into it, and so that's the other thing we have to stop. We need better play out of the goaltending position right now. We can't expect to give up 4 and win. Well, we're not. We're not winning, right? We beat Minnesota. We scored 4, gave up 1. So we just need better there. We need to outplay their guy a little more often here, and hopefully that changes.
Danny, Willie, Alan.
Hey, Bruce, Danny Webster, Las Vegas Free Journal. Going back to the goals at the end of the period, self-inflicted, yes, but is there a common theme as far as why that's happening, or is it just a situation where bounce here, bounce there?
No, I think it's a little bit of we're not as hard on the puck as we typically are when we're on our game. And you're going to go through stretches that year, and we're obviously going through it. We're just not as hard. And I think, as I said, I'm not blaming, but you need big saves to pick you up. It's a game of mistakes. It's a game of mistakes. We're not going to be clean every night. And that's where you need to be bailed out sometimes. And that's the timing of it too. That haven't happened as much as it did, say, 2 weeks ago. So we'll get that corrected. And then I think when things start to go better, everyone relaxes a little more too. And then you don't need that save because you're more relaxed and playing. So they kind of go hand in hand when you're not winning. And that's where we're at right now.
Bruce, Willard Ramirez for the Hockey News. When you talk about these past 2 weeks, if you go back to the championship season, almost the identical dates, 2 weeks, was your worst stretch to this point in the season. Is there something to be said that when you hit the top of the NHL, you're playing your best, you're going to have these lulls, there's no panic button to push, and you get through it, the other teams are getting better?
Well, nobody's panicking, I'll say that. We're not, in the room tearing the walls down. I said this the other night in Chicago, like, it's my job to drag him in the fight in certain parts of the year, right? Like right now it's a little bit of the dog January, right? We got 7 guys that are going to the Four Nations. So is that on their mind? There's a little bit of that. There's the break for so this is a month we got to push through. And we've built ourselves a cushion. So psychologically, maybe that is also going on where some of these teams now are playing catch up. Their urgency level is higher than ours right now. And that's, we're addressing that, but it's not a magic switch. You slowly come out of it. And when our urgency level goes up, we're still, we're a pretty good team, very good team. And, we're going to keep talking about that. But yes, this team reminds me a little bit of 2 years ago as well, where, and it's interesting you say that because we have talked about that. This was a month that we really had to slug through, I think 2 years ago. The difference this year is we have pretty much our full lineup right now. 2 years ago, we were going through a lot of, Stoney left later, but Jack missed time. Petro, I know, had a family leave. We were missing some players. And we're not in that situation now. We're healthy. So that's the part that's weird. All of a sudden we get healthy and we go into, we can't win. And when before we were, and maybe that's in the back of the guys' minds too at times. So it's a tough one to answer. Every team goes through it. We just can't go through it much longer. I think we're all kind of like let's go right now. We have a couple days between games, so the fatigue factor should be gone, and hopefully we're fresher and have a better energy level in St. Louis.
Last one, Alan.
Bruce, offensively, is it a matter of just burying these chances? Because you referenced the fact that you're kind of pleased with the scoring opportunities, you just couldn't close the deal on some of the shots by Jack and OT, and I'm wondering how you feel about Hertl and Dorofeyev kind of emerging, kind of during this little mini losing slump.
Well, I mean, they're on, and we need it, but we need some other guys that have been, fighting it a bit or not getting the puck luck to emerge soon. You can't survive with one line in a power play and win in this league on a regular basis unless you're keeping it out of your net. It's 2 every night against, not 4. So something has to give there. And these guys have been too good in this league for it to go on forever. And we're a good defensive team. I mean, when we got on our run in, was it December was our, we were down to 1.89 goal. Like, we're not anywhere near that either. So, you can survive guys playing through, not scoring if you're winning games because your team defense is excellent. So we've kind of missed both here, and that's a bad formula. And maybe tonight, a comeback win will give us some juice and get us going. The weird part is you're thinking you're walking out of the building with nothing, and then after Jack, you're thinking, well, we should have won. I mean, he's never going to miss that again in his life. So it's kind of an odd place right now where I'm at because I'm, is the glass half full or empty, right? So we'll look at the game, but we have to get better in certain areas. And situational hockey, last minute, you talked about it. We have to start being better in those moments. Just have to be. We got to be the team that makes the play at the right moment. That's what we did to teams 2 years ago, a lot last year, the start of this year. So we got to get back to, is that confidence? Is it too much confidence? Where are we in that regard? And it's my job to find solutions for that, right? That's on me, and it's also on the group to understand that listen, I know it's the dog days, but we're NHL players. We pride ourselves. We have a standard. Let's get there. And all we can do is keep harping on that and talking, not talking about it, but reinforcing it. Teaching better, a couple of D-zone mistakes today that I got to sort out with some guys and get back in the win column.